Hey guys, welcome back. Bomb here. Welcome to another episode of Showdown Lowdown. Today's Showdown Lowdown is going to be over Mega Gardevoir. I'll leave some links spread throughout the video of battles I had with Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir quickly grew to be one of my favorite megas when they got released. Mainly because when I was a child, I love special attackers, and this thing is a monster too. Let's see. Let's go over, first of all, let's see where it is in the viability ranking. I have everything open already. But the viability ranking, I'm assuming it's A. Here it is, A ranked. A ranked. There's a couple reasons why it's not S ranked, mainly because of speed. You always want to make sure a Pokemon's fast in order for it to be the best in the tier. Sorry if there's any background noise that you guys can hear. Can't really do much about it, but I gotta record right now. I have everything open, but let's see. First of all, let's go over Mega Gardevoir itself. Mega Gardevoir has 165 base attack, special attack. I think that's the same as Charizard wise. I'm not exactly sure. Let me pull it up real quick. I did do a Charizard Y video earlier. This is 159. He's actually higher than Charizard Y. Sure, he doesn't get Drought for his Fire Blast, but that's fine. It's a very specially defensive Pokemon, base 100 speed. It doesn't have that much physical defense or bulk, but as long as you play it right, it makes a great Pokemon. Being a Fairy Psychic type 2 gives it a really great typing. It's immune to Dragon, it's super resist Fighting by 4, and it resists Psychic. It's weak to Ghost, Poison, and Steel. They're not the most common type Pokemon in the world that you see. I mean, unless Aegislash gets unbanned for some reason, you're not going to see too many Ghost types besides Gengar, Poison types besides Gengar, and Steel types are like Heatran and other things like that. But regular Gardevoir is cool too. You can actually run, I mean, really any of its abilities are pretty good. Plus, you could run regular Gardevoir. It's a pretty good Pokemon on its own. But yeah, you can use Synchronize if you want to get burned or paralyzed and you want to pass it to your opponent, predicting that. You could always run Synchronize. I personally like to run Trace. Trace is good to copy abilities like Intimidate. That way you can intimidate your opponent when you switch in. It doesn't matter what ability you copy in the end, because whenever you Mega Evolve, you will just become Pixelate. And Pixelate is the reason why Mega Gardevoir is good. It's like his own Drought Fire Blast, if you will. He actually, what Pixelate does, which I'll pull it up for you right now. Pixelate turns all of these Pokemon's normal type attacks into Fairy type and deals 1.3 times damage. So, check it. Mega Gardevoir, who has Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is a 90 base power move. That not only does it become a Fairy type move, which gives it stab in the end, so that becomes from 90 to 135, but it also gets a 30% power increase. So 135, 30% of that, you guys can do the math there. It's a really, really, really strong attack. Combo that with its 165 base special attack. Let's show you how high that special attack gets. I'm sorry. Let me just move this around. Let's do, let's see, max special attack. It goes all the way to 471 if you want to run max special attack with a plus speed nature, or plus special attacking nature. So yeah, this thing's a monster. It's really, really strong. It's got a lot of viability in the sense that, like, let me show you what it beats in the viability ranking. First of all, it beats every S-ranked Pokemon, like everyone except for maybe Metagross. But I guess we'll do this last. I want to talk about the attack so I can show you why he's really good. I'll do that last too. So let's talk about its attacks. Alright, let's go to Showdown. Obviously, you're going to want to run Focus Blast to get past the Steels, because Steels can wreck you. It'll two-shot the Heatrans, any other Pokemon that's weak to it, really. Dark types, but you don't really need to worry about Dark types with Hyper Voice. But it's mainly for Heatran. You want to run Hyper Voice, because that's your stab, increase, boosted Fairy type move. Insanely powerful. And then you want to run Psyshock, you know, get past the special walls like Blissey, Chansey, hits on the physical side with your massive special attack. Now that last move slot, that's the one that's going to save you. There's a couple sets. You could always run a bulky Mega Gardevoir, max HP, max Spadef, anything like that. You don't have to run max speed. My personal favorite is max speed, like I did in the last video. In my suspect test video that I have the link up right here again if you guys didn't click it earlier. But he has a lot of move options. Let's look. He can do Calm Mind to make him even bulkier and hit even harder. That way you can invest more in like defense or something if you want to do that. Maybe defense speed, HP speed, I don't know. Destiny Bond, because you're not the slowest Pokemon. Base 100 is not that bad. It's just outsped by things like Gengars, Latias, Thundurus. Disable if you want to be cheeky, as well as Encore. Energy Ball to hit things like Quagsire, Swampert. You don't see a lot of those in OU. Energy Ball, but remember guys, Hyper Voice does a lot of damage. You're better off using a neutral Hyper Voice than you are using a super effective move, unless it is 4 times effective. That's something that a lot of people need to know. Attacks, you gotta do the math. You gotta do the math. We already have Focus Blast. Grass Knot does the same thing. You can run any sort of hidden power. You have Heal Bell on this thing. Healing Wish. That's great for team support. I know it gets Wish. Excuse me, guys. I burped there. You can run Light Screen. You can run Reflect. You don't want to run Moon Blast when you have Hyper Voice. Pain Split for healing. He has a lot of move options. Taunt. Taunt is what I use to stop things like Chansey, Blissey, Ferrothorns, any slower Pokemon that want to set up on me. Things I want to set up Swords Dance like Bisharp. Taunt's a great move for that. Toxic, of course, you know, always. And Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is what I wanted to talk about earlier. Will-O-Wisp is great for predicting things like Metagross to come in. Any physical attacker at all. If you make the prediction and you can hit him hard with a Will-O-Wisp, then you don't even have to worry about your defense stat, because you just cut their attack in half, which is amazing. So Will-O-Wisp is a great 4th move option. Let's see. We're not even going to talk about Attract. Draining Kiss, if you want to do Calm Mind Draining Kiss, you get that stab Draining Kiss off, gives you 75% of the damage dealt gets back to you. It's actually one of the attacks that increase your health the most due to the damage that you do. Let's see. Future Sight if you want to be cheeky. I said any hidden power earlier. Mean Look if you want to trap them. Sorry about that, guys. I had to cut that out because the screen wouldn't get comfortable for me, but I fixed it. Back to what I was saying. Skill Swap? You don't want to run Skill Swap. You like your power. Ooh, Stored Power with Calm Mind. That could prove to be powerful. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the attacks you're going to want to run on a Gardevoir. I personally like to run 148 plus Speed Nature, so Timid, because this way you're actually faster than all max speed neutral nature base 100s by 1 point, because if you're max speed with a neutral nature base 100 like a lot of Pokemon are, you reach 299. So I do 148 Timid. That way I can add bulk by putting the rest of my HP stat. And I always max out my special attack because I want to make sure I do as much damage as possible to anything that comes in. And I can prove it to you right here. This is your standard Mega Gardevoir set right here. It says 232 special attack, 24 defense. It's to survive very specific attacks. I can actually show you right here because there's a standard set on the Gardevoir thing right here. Let's see, set details. Yada yada yada. 24 EVs in defense. The Gardevoir avoid 2 shots from Life Orb, Latios, Psyshock. The rest are put in speed. So yeah, that's for that. You always want to make sure you calc things whenever you use Pokemon. I'm gonna exile this right here. But yeah, let's look at the viability ranking now. Altaria. Altaria is still weak to Hyper Voice, even though it's a Fairy type. It still gets hit super effective because of its Dragon typing. Same with Keldeo. Landorus and Clefable do not want to take the hits. Landorus gets base 101 speed, so Landorus you're not going to be able to outspeed, and he probably can kill you with a Sludge Wave, depending on how much investment you have in HP or Spadef. But Keldeo can't kill you no matter what, unless he gets like a crit Hydro Pump. Metagross is a problem, but you can actually Will-O-Wisp the Metagross as long as it doesn't go for sub, because it is faster than you. What I like to do with my teams, especially teams like Charizard Y, Wall Breaker teams that have like base 100 speed specifically, or like anything below 110, is I like to have Thunder Wave support. I want to make sure everything's slower than me, so I run things like Klefki, Clefables, what is it, Prankster Thunderuses, things like that. Let's look at the A-rank team. Bisharp's neutral. Bisharp will die. Azumarill, Charizard's neutral. Deontay is neutral. Nothing likes taking it. Gengar's a problem, but you can actually hit it super effectively with Psyshock. Gyarados gets super effective. Your biggest threats to Latias is things like Heatran. Heatran's actually probably the biggest threat because it can learn Flash Cannon, which will do a heavy amount to you, especially if you're not invested in a HP. And you can't two-shot it unless you go for Focus Blast. And most Heatrans are Spadef, meaning that you're going to probably have to two-shot it. So unless you get prior damage. Also, priority is a problem because most priority is physical, and you don't have that much defense. So Lopunny is going to be a problem because Lopunny can OHKO you with return because it's so fast. But yeah, you can take care of pretty much everything else. Scizor, if you want to run Hidden Power Fire, you can actually Will-O-Wisp the Scizor, but it does have Bullet Punch, so that's a problem. Talonflame's a problem too. But that's it. You want to run Stealth Rock support. You want to run Thunder Wave support. You want to be able to have a check for Talonflame and a check and a counter for Talonflame and Scizor. But other than that, everybody else just dies. Excadrill dies to a Focus Blast. Ferrothorn, you can taunt and hit it with 2 Focus Blasts. Gardevoir is probably the best. Like, is a really good check to Gardevoir, to be completely honest. Hippowdon actually is a pretty good check too, because Hippowdon won't die too unless he takes 2 Hyper Voices. But yeah, you can just slay dragons easily, because most dragons will get paralyzed. There's very few, and most of them are in the Ubers tier. So yeah, that's the viability ranking. Let's do some calcs. Who is a problem? Let's see. Let's just show you how intense he is. Mega Gardevoir is already set up over here. What's things he's weak to? Mega Metagross. Let me show you how much a Hyper Voice does to Mega Metagross. Mega Metagross still takes about max 40%. Focus Blast will do 47% from Mega Gardevoir. So it's still a 2 to 3 shot, unless you get prior damage on it. But yeah, Meteor Mash will kill you even after the burn, so you gotta make sure that you don't stay in. Like, you can go for the burn all you want, but you gotta not stay in. What else is a problem? Let's see Heatran. Everything's open at once. Let's go to Heatran here. Heatran, OU especially defensive. Let's see. Focus Blast still does 58 to 69, so it's a guaranteed 2-shot. Hyper Voice is 4 times resisted, and Psyshock is resisted too. But let's do like a Scarf Heatran. Choice Scarf with Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is a 2-shot to you, but luckily enough, it's not a OHKO, so you can still get that damage off, and then Focus Blast has a chance to OHKO on things that aren't especially defensive. Let's see what other Pokemon there are in the viability ranking. That's a problem. Lopunny, but Lopunny, you know, you can OHKO Lopunny with Hyper Voice. You can OHKO the majority of this tier with Hyper Voice. Let's check Scizor. Scizor, let's do Bulky Swords Dance, Mega Scizor. You can hit it, you can 3-shot it with a Focus Blast. Hyper Voice, you're gonna have to you can probably 3-shot it with a Hyper Voice too if you get some prior damage off. But Bullet Punch does pretty much guarantee an OHKO, even bulky, so not that much investments in attack. So you gotta watch out for that. But this cool. Actually, a little update. Smogon actually updated their strategy deck, so now you can actually scroll down. You can actually see checks and counters for Cresselia. I actually went over most of them. Steel types are a counter. Obviously, they're not gonna they're gonna fear the Focus Blast and the Will-O-Wisp, so you're not gonna want to switch them in. But a safe switch will be really nice. Same with poison types, but you have Psyshock for poison types. That'll do a huge amount of damage if not KO it. Fire types resist it, so things like Charizard Y are gonna prove to be a problem against Gardevoir. You can probably 1-shot it or 2-shot it. Let's actually check. With a Psyshock, you could probably do a lot of damage to it. Charizard Y. Let's do Mega Char. We'll scroll down here. OU Drought Wall Breaker. Yeah, your Psyshock can 2-shot it easily, but its Fire Blast does have a chance to OHKO, especially in the sun, because it does get that drought. You know how much I love Charizard Y. Look at that picture. It's such a nice picture. Let's see what else. Assault Vest Thundurus can tank most hits. Any other threats? I think that's pretty much as high as the threats get. I mean, Pinsir does have that quick attack. You just have to make sure you have physical walls that can stop priority users, and you want to make sure you have things like Thunder Wave, Sticky Web, things that can help slow down your opponent. You want to get rid of all of his checks and counters, and then you just have fun sweeping with Mega Gardevoir. So hey guys, thank y'all for watching another episode of Showdown Lowdown. My last episode was actually a team building episode. I might even make that a completely new series, because that one was actually fun, just like a solo team build. I know I have build and battle with the friends and all, but team build is more along the lines of very, very well thought, super critique team building, as opposed to just using a Pokemon that we really want to use and surrounding a team around it with just fun pokes. But build and battle is a lot of fun for that reason. But team building is actually for competitive building. I mean, sure, I'm not the most competitive and best Pokemon player out there, but I do what I can. So leave in the comments below what you want to see next. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, And hey, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on the Facebook group below. I actually do a lot of updates there. I actually ask for battles. I let you guys know when I am recording so that you guys can run into me and battle me if you like. All that good jazz. So yeah, later.